Hey everybody, welcome. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here at my Coldwater, Michigan hometown superstore. And I'm really excited to tell you about a couple of the updates they have here on these Cougar Sport bunkhouses because for the most part, the last couple of years, they haven't really changed. And really, if you look at it, you don't really see a lot of major changes on these right now. It's still that living room slide. It's carpetless. It has that triple double bunk in the back, which is awesome. If you really need to rack them, pack them, and stack them back there in the rug rat racks, you've got an amazing place to do it. And there's a sliding pocket door that can close that off so they can hotbox each other instead of stinking up your living room. Anybody with kids knows what I mean. They have no idea how much they smell, but we love them regardless. What's cool is this year, they got rid of the wood in the walls. Previously, their laminated wall structures, they were using a pinch-rolled system with lauan wall paneling below the fiberglass and below the wallpaper. Well, they've replaced that now with composite paneling, what they're calling their Hypercore wall system. It's actually vacuum laminated, and Cougar is the only division of Keystone that is doing that across the board. Whether it's their trailers, the sports, even their big cat fifth wheels, they are using an all-composite wall system now, which is one of the very few recurring criticisms that I've heard of Cougars. They've addressed it. Now, the Sport Series is unapologetically their simplest, lightest, least expensive series right here. It doesn't do all the flashy, shiny shoes razzmatazz that the other Cougar models do. What it does do, though, it does very well, and it does it in a way that doesn't totally blow up your budget. Like, we still have a 3,000-pound towing hitch. You still have all power jacks. You have a heated enclosed belly, 220-watt solar package. They've gone to a true flush floor slide and gotten rid of that marine woven stuff in the slide. So they continue to kind of edge forward little by little, and even their basic stuff they're continuing to improve. Now, the RV has some awesome qualities. It's also got a couple major things that somebody might look at and go, that's a major deal breaker right there. And I'm going to try to share good with bad as we go. And you let me know what you think as we go. Does that make sense? That made sense, right? When that came out of my mouth. Whatever. Moving on. Let's go. Now, contrary to what my older brother tried to get me to believe when I was younger and more impressionable and thought he told me the truth about things, I'm not a vampire. So you will see my reflection in some of the mirror type stuff today. Let's talk about goods and bads. I like the nicely sized television that we have going on here. But like a lot of builders who make a layout like this, like a shorter bunkhouse fifth wheel, which 32 foot is considered short by bunkhouse fifth wheel standards, the TV is mounted up high, and it is staring straight across from the dinette. It is not staring straight across from the sofa. So I don't know that this is the kind of RV you want to purchase if your goal is to sit inside and watch the tube every day. I don't think that's what this one is. I think that there's a TV there to get you through enough of a rainy day, but other than that, I think this one's for getting out there, getting dirty, having a good time. I do like that extra mirror, though. Even though it shows my chubby dad bod in the reflection, it feels like it opens the space right up. And I'm going to give them credit. They've done an amazing job in this model of making sure that every window that possibly can opens for airflow. I like how within the slide out, the black switch on the inside to the right side of the slide box there, that's actually a light switch for the lights just above the slide. They've included household and USB outlets pretty much anywhere that you sit or sleep. I think the bunks, the bunks have households and USBs both. Okay, never mind. So, overall, I like what they've done here. They've also changed up the flooring in the slide out because they kind of changed the way the slide out works a little bit. They had that marine woven stuff, and they made it match the linoleum type stuff in the living area. And personally, I like that look better. I think it opens up the space very, very nicely. Looking at this, the refrigerator is slid back into the slide, which means there's no wasted space behind it. It could mean if you're my height, you might bump your forehead a little bit on that slide fascia right there. But to be fair, I don't think you're standing straight upright when you're over 6 foot tall when you're getting into the fridge anyway. I think you're bending over if you're going to get in the fridge. Oh, I was like, what is going on with the lights? Do we have electrical gremlins in here? And I just realized something. I forgot to turn my battery box on. My battery box itself has a disconnect on off switch. I had it all hooked up to the RV's terminals, but I didn't turn them on. I've been running the lights in this thing for like an hour and a half now, strictly off the power coming in off the solar. It has literally been live juicing this, and until we got a little bit of cloud cover, I didn't even notice it. And I just checked. My battery is full. So, my little jump box that I carry on, it's literally been powering the lights and providing a trickle charge still to my battery after I open the slides and everything else. Considering it's like you hear 220 watts of solar. Well, it's 220 watts and it's a more efficient MPPT Victron charge controller. The quality of hardware that you're looking at, it matters. It's literally a difference you can see. Did I? I did. When I did my stupid head bonk, I literally busted my head open. I do my own stunts. So sorry about my squirrel moments. I am susceptible to those. Back when before the light started flickering, I was talking about how that cabinet door opens sideways instead of flips up overhead because it didn't used to have a strut. So it would constantly fall down and close on you. And now you don't have that problem. In the Sport Series Cougars, you do go to the smaller oven. In the rest of the Cougar family, you get the bigger ovens. Now I want to talk about kitchen outlets and prep space and everything else. They did a little bit of a countertop cutaway right here, which isn't my favorite. You might notice that you have a couple power outlets, at least one set of outlets directly above that. And that, by the way, that is an AM/FM CD DVD stereo head unit. You just don't run into those as much anymore, But sorry, I keep getting distracted by stuff. Kitchen stuff. You have power outlets right here, right down by the counter level. Back in the corner, that's going to be a perfect little coffee maker station right there. All of our cabinetry, by the way, is pocket screwed. It's not just held together by staples and your imagination. It had a little bit of really big show in there. All right. I told you I would tell you good with bad. This is one that might be a problem for some folks. And I'm going to go out of my way to point it out. The location of the power management system on this RV, the converter, the fuse box, as it were. It's in the bunk room, which first of all, some people won't like. Secondly, I can already tell you when the slide closes, you are not going to be able to get back here. And that's going to be a problem for some folks, Now, you've got a big baggage door over there. You could easily shove one of the kids through there if you can trust them with a fuse. And, it's big enough that most adults, even my size, could probably still get through that. Is that awesome? No, that sucks. But you could make it happen. And that's the thing I think you should consider before buying this RV. Does that apply to you? Let me know. These bunks, as the sticker right in our face tells us, are 300-pound rated. Now, the upper two bunks, they have their household and USB outlets over here. The lower bunk doesn't actually have USB plugs. What it has is a set of household plugs over by the baggage door, since the bottom area could potentially work as a compartment for cargo as well. Now, the windows there, all the windows that you're seeing, they're going to open for airflow, which is nice. The bottom bunk doesn't have its own little airflow window. And since these bunks don't have curtains, but it is a centrally air ducted room, all three bunks are going to be able to get some AC, which is kind of nice. Take a look over at the left side of the screen, please. And you can see the storage that you have in this bunk room. Is it the world's biggest, greatest storage? No, absolutely not. But if you start looking at bunkhouse RVs, have you ever noticed how many of them have basically exactly jack and squat for bunk room storage? And kids need a lot of storage, I remember, when we had my daughter, 2/3 of the house now belongs to my daughter. But moving on from there, looking at all of our kitchen storagey kind of stuff, I sound like I'm griping about my daughter eating up space. I wouldn't give it up for the world. She's the greatest thing. She and my wife are the greatest things in my life. Anyway, gigantic space for wastebaskets down there below the sink. And there's a lot of overhead cabinet space, which is important in this model because it doesn't actually have a traditional vertical pantry. Like, there's not one specific object that I can point at and go, that's the pantry. It does have, I think, some pretty solid kitchen storage. Like, you've even got pretty respectable storage above the sofa, although you are going to need a 2 or 3 step stool to get to that. Now, if you are going to sleep everybody and their brother and their friends that they invite with them to summer camp, this camper could do it. You've got the triple double bunks in the back. You've got the private bedroom up front. You've got a hide-to-bed sleeper sofa and a full true U dinette. Assuming you're sleeping 2 on the front bed, 1 on the sofa, 1 on the dinette, 1 on each bunk, that's 7 people in this very easily. Before we start doing things like throwing air mattresses on the floor or putting 2 people on a single bunk or anything like that. So this thing can sleep a lot of folks. Also, Nothing says you have to use this exclusively like a dinette. You can always just take the table out, and you could use it like a little bit of an open lounge. That's kind of a emergency get you through the day thing. I don't think that that's the way that most people plan to use this. A dinette is nowhere near as comfortable as a sofa. But man, in a real pinch, you could make it work. Oh, I forgot to mention this. There is actually the privacy shade in the entry door over here. And in case someone's wondering, like, how do you get to it? You got to open the door, close the screen, adjust the shade, open the screen, close them both. And that sounds like a lot of steps, but I think a lot of people probably get it up halfway and just leave it there. So actual owners with privacy shades in the door, how often do you mess with it? Or is it a situation where you just got it adjusted and you left it there? Because I'm speaking in theory, but I would love it if some actual owners could contribute some feedback, because what I think and what you know are two different things. And I will take what an owner actually knows and does over my, opinion any day of the week. Where is my power outlets? Which I tell you what, you look at the left side of the screen right now, so you can see where I'm doing my headroom test in the shower. Me and Max headroom in there. Just enough. I'm a little over 6 foot tall, by the way, and I can fit in that thing while I fight with the light switch and I locate that. I like a towel bar instead of a towel hook as well. That is actually my preference there. Now, I haven't shown it on camera, but this is the conventional dollar store 4-inch fart fan for fumigation ventilation situation station in this RV. And that is still a porcelain foot flush stool that didn't drop down to plastic on the sports, which kind of surprises me, really. I'm not disappointed by what I find, but you can see, you get that sliding door out of the way, some really solid space in there. And if we jump over and take a look at the left side of the screen, you can see the drawer situation going on under that sink. But also, I wanted to get you an up close and personal look at their plumbing connections. And basically, everything is either PEX on PEX, or where they are using flex lines, they are using actual, specific manufactured flex components, where it's not like they're using flex to PEX connection. It's a pre-manufactured item made to do literally exactly what you're looking at. So I'm not real concerned with any of the plumbing stuff that I see in here. Folks have asked me to pay more attention to that, so there you go. I'm doing my best. Now, by default from the factory, this is a single 15,000 BTU air conditioner, but these are 50 amp. So if you want to pop a second air in or have us do it, it's prepped to do it. They just don't do it from the factory for this reason or that. I do like how the overhead cabinets aren't super large, so that I'm not going to bang my head on them the way Quiet Riot would probably bang a drum. But it's not a ton of storage. And beep, boop, gravity closes for us. I'm going to take a little bit of a knee over here. Oh, I forgot. Under both of those little dresser stands, you can actually see, even though they're not turned on right now, you do have side lighting over there. So you actually have more lights available to you than even I'm displaying. But I wanted to show you, you have some really respectable side stands, perfect for phone charger situations. Also household and USB plugs on both sides. But those plugs have yellow stickers on them, indicating that they are inverter prepped. I might touch a little bit more on that when we go outside. Again, I like to be real about things. I want to mention, this is a short queen, which is surprising. It's a 60 by 74 short queen, but also there's tons of room at the foot of this thing. So, existing Cougar Sport owners, if once again you could chime in, I think the class would appreciate it. Have you found these, true queen capable? I suspect they are, but your input, again, overweighs my theory. And while you're leaving that note or not, we're going to take a look at the bedroom storage here. Now, something that you maybe didn't notice easily and overtly is the fact that there's a big shoe cubby under the bottom dresser drawer in that bonus closet. So sometimes people say this would be better if it had a wardrobe slide. And I'm not criticizing, there's no wrong answers to that, but a wardrobe slide would add weight, it would add cost, it would add mechanical stuff, it would add seal points. Whereas doing the closet storage across from the bed built into the wall accomplishes the same thing while still allowing you cross breeze windows and less weight and less maintenance and less cost. So I like the arrangement that they put in here, especially considering this is a little simpler kind of design. And there's a better look at that shoe garage. I realized I never really gave you a good look at that. And why tell you about something when we can see it? Because obviously it's a video. Now, by not having a sliding privacy door here in the bedroom, you can see how the wall straight across from the bed is really well set up for entertainment purposes. Now, sliding forward here, I've got the slide closed. So upper deck bedroom, the bathroom, that stuff is very easily travel functional and travel accessible right here. For the most part, Your kitchen absolutely nails it. But if you want to use those rear bunks, basically, you got to throw the kids in through that cargo door. And I don't love that because that cargo door is not really easy to get back out of in the event of, like, let's say a terrible emergency, like a big scary fire. So I don't love that idea, and I don't really propose that. So what I'm really saying here is that this is going to be okay for a travel stop. The kids can get to the bathroom. You can make them a sandwich. Can you sleep in the thing overnight? You can, but man, it gives me the willies. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. But man, when it comes to kids, if an adult wants to put themselves in danger, be my guest. You're an American. Do whatever you want. Or, I don't know, maybe you're Canadian. But you have the freedom to do stupid things to yourself. Kids don't always have that same ability to control their destiny. So I'm going to recommend you don't put them back there for like an overnight sleepover or something like that. Just because, again, it is harder to get them out of that thing in a big, scary emergency. So if you appreciate how we're putting your safety before the sale, hit that subscribe button. And I really did whack myself, didn't I? This is also about as small as bunkhouse fifth wheels tend to get. Technically, in the RV marketplace, there are a few that are slightly smaller, but it's 31 feet 10 inches. It's 32 feet. We're gonna call it 32 foot tip to tail total length. And a lot of people are gonna hear that and they're gonna say, okay, smaller, lighter. They see a 27 model number and they say, is this half-ton towable? And a lot of your RV salespeople out there are going to say yes. And they are probably wrong. If you ask that question, is it half-ton towable? And the first thing out of their mouth isn't tell me about the capacities of your truck, get away from that person, because they have no interest in your family's safety. They have all the interest in the money that is in your wallet. There's a key difference there. The thing is, this RV probably has more hitch weight than most half-tons can handle. Let me back up here real quick. I'm going to segue into something. Cougar does this a lot, and I don't think people realize. You see how the nose cap doesn't actually stick out past the hitch pin? That's one of the reasons you can achieve some tighter turning radius. Radii? Yeah, radii, technically, right? Anyway, sorry, words are hard. You can get tighter turns on a Cougar. But anyway, back to the half-ton towable thing. If you look at the base empty dry weight specs of this RV, saving some battery, then maybe half-ton towable. But you also have to keep in mind, this RV is going to get loaded with cargo, and it's a bunk model. You're going to have a lot of human body weight eating up your truck's payload capacity. And usually, by the time you factor that in, you're in the red and you're cooked. That is a Norco EcuSlide system, by the way, in case you are curious. Now, when we go to the Cougar Sport Series, we do flip over from a Goodyear tire to an import tire. Some folks, that's a major concern. So I want to make sure I take a second to point that out for you. Also, while I'm kneeling down here, I kind of forgot this. If you look in the back, you see that you've got a gray tank outlet for your kitchen. But if I slowly swing you, sweet chariot, this direction, we get a second sewer outlet for the bathroom, black and gray. So this actually is a two-headed sewer monster. It does have that 60,000 BTU tankless on-demand water heater. We are right next to the highway, so pardon the background noise. They've still maintained their enclosed docking center, which is really, really nice. And like if you notice in here, a couple key things. The RV's got 220 watts of solar on the roof, but it is prepped and ready for a portable panel over here. And that is a full hot, cold outside utility shower. If we look over there, you see the little coily sprayer hose thing included with it. Now, even here in the Sport Series, there's still inverter prepping. If you're not familiar with what that means, your household outlets won't run off battery power. You need to be plugged in or running a generator to power household outlets. Well, with that, if you add an inverter, the outlets on the inside of the RV that have the yellow stickers that we talked about, those could be powered off your battery. But when you do that, you eat your battery really, really fast. And the little bit of battery maintaining solar on the roof is not intended to sustain that kind of usage long term. So the other thing, it's worthless talking about solar if you don't also talk about batteries. And by default from the factory, it has none. And different people camp different ways. So we kind of work with you to help outfit you with the battery that's best going to fit your wants and needs. I do like, though, how they have that gas strutted front baggage door. That's a nice touch. Even a lot of big luxury fifth wheels don't do that. That's cool. Now, you've got the drunken Uncle Dog leash latch up here, that little tie down right there. That could also be really handy for like getting a cable and tying the kids' bikes up or something at night, or your patio furniture so it doesn't happen to conveniently go walking away. And I do want to point out the power awning space on this. They did a good job. That's some good patio space right there. I don't care for the speakers being mounted up so high, but that's a little thing. I can always just not use them and use a portable Bluetooth speaker if I feel that specifically about it. But that's just one of those things that everybody has those little nitpicks that they just can't get past and will die on those hills. That's one of mine. That's one of mine. Anyway, it's easy to miss. You see those household outlets in the bottom left? And then you do have a set of USB plugs right there as well. As we work our way around, I want to talk about this door. It looks, I think, cool. That's an opinion, man, but that's mine. It is very reflective. You're going to get a look at my chunky dad bod in that sucker. And in the direct summer sunshine, it's hotter than downtown Hades touching that thing. So if you do have little kids, and this is not just true of Cougar, this is with anyone, any manufacturer who uses one of those black glass doors, they get hotter than sin to the touch. I think you could literally cook eggs on it if the trailer were flipped on its side. Not that I'm recommending that. I've never tested for obvious reasons. Let's talk leveling. By default, this has power front leveling gear and power rear stabilizers, and that was the way that fifth wheels worked for a very, very long time before full automatic leveling systems came into play. I think Cougar has started offering optional auto leveling on the sports, but I'm thinking that, not knowing that. I see so many RVs that sometimes those minutia fine details do get murky on me, and sometimes I get that mixed up. So if you're curious about that, contact our team members and we can verify for you. You might notice that you do still have a sewer hose caddy tube back there. And if you look off the back, you see you do have a towing hitch receiver off the back of this as well. And it is a 3,000-pound towing hitch. Now, I won't be surprised with my butt right next to the road if somebody doesn't honk at me. Traditionally, anytime I'm right next to the road, someone honks at me. And I won't be surprised if Garrett, my editor, decides to edit in some honking sounds right now. Although it'd be funnier if he did like goose honks. Well, you said they were gonna honk. Now, this is that bottom bunk. And as I said, if you want to, you can use it as cargo space. Notice that you have outlets and you have, lights over there. You can pull this mattress. It's just a fully finished floor underneath. And that's kind of a cool thing. What if you don't need all three beds? What if you only need one or two? Well, you could take the factory mattresses and double or even triple stack them onto one single bed to make a more comfy sleeping space for somebody. That is always going to be a possibility. Now, as I weave my way around the back, I want to mention, if you look 2 doors down over here, you see that there's a Cougar over there with a ladder on the back. But if we go back to the one in question, you see that it's only got a ladder prep. That's one of the sport things. That's one of the less expensive aspects of a Cougar Sport. So it's ladder prepped, doesn't actually include the ladder. But up on that roof, you do have that 220-watt solar panel package up there. Notice how high it sits off the roof? That's so it can breathe. Because the irony about solar panels, which are designed to sit in the sun, is they don't work too well when they get too hot. So Keystone gives them an extra leg lift, basically, to allow them to breathe better. And by the way, little detail, did you notice that all the baggage doors outside, even this little door over here for the bunks, it has slam latches and a magnet holdback. I love that they did that all the way around instead of those cheaper butterfly twist latches, So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Now, you may have seen the Keystone Arcadia has something that's called a 27 SBH or something like that. So what Cougar calls Sport, Arcadia calls Select. But other than that, they're basically a different nose cap with the on a near identical build. So if you like what you see here, but there's an Arcadia dealer nearby instead of a Cougar dealer, you can get the exact same RV just with a sticker that says Arcadia on the front instead of Cougar. Hope that helps. If you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and let me know what you think about it. As I always do, I'll leave you links in the description so you can check for pricing availability. And if you like how we're trying to be clear and transparent with you, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.